Excuse that at points the wind will go up the eaves of the roof and make extreme amounts of noise. I apologise for that. Hello anyone watching, and welcome back to my biannual YouTube channel. I haven't uploaded in a while and you may be wondering why there's so much stuff going on behind us. I'm in my loft. This is the only quiet space for filming that has semi-good acoustics, so I'm sorry. This is a box that is almost 5 feet tall of packing peanuts. It's a look. Before I begin discussing the topic of this video, I would just like to say that I am not trying to speak for black people, victims of child abuse, or anyone that Shane Dawson apologised to in his most recent video, Taking Accountability. I'm here to analyse the video and inject my opinion where appropriate, and break down why once again Shane Dawson has failed to produce an effective apology video. There's some serious bugs in here. Shane has been forced to make several apologies throughout his long-standing YouTube career, including for blackface, pedophilia jokes, and most recently for his involvement in Dramageddon. The recurring theme of these apologies is that Shane Dawson desires to defend himself, as opposed to taking responsibility for his actions and making visible steps towards self-improvement. Luckily for him, he has a dedicated white fanbase who are willing to accept his apology on behalf of those he has offended. Until recently, this also included me. I've watched Shane since I discovered YouTube at a really early age. I witnessed the dark humour days and contributed to his success by viewing his videos. I was only a child when those videos were being produced, but I have continued to support him and his career by watching his content for years now. I only had the realisation of how problematic this was when I recently started watching the YouTuber Amanda BB. She discusses some really important topics and is a black female voice that I have been listening to and also encourage anyone watching this video to listen to as well. She researches her topics very thoroughly and always has very important things to say and never holds back. She's made a few videos about Shane, and I as a white person can't watch them and disprove any of the things that she says. Everything that she has said on the topic is undeniable to me. I want to thank her for opening my eyes, as well as the creator Sanders Kennedy, who has also been covering Shane Dawson's controversy and providing a black male voice. If I say anything in this video that is wrong or offensive, please pull me up on it and I will make steps to educate myself better. With that said, I'm gonna start talking about the apology. There is one thing that is good about Shane Dawson's apology video, and that is that he accepts that people can reject his apology. Usually when he apologises, he uses it as a way to silence the people who are talking about the thing he has done. I said sorry, so shut up. This is the only aspect of the video that shows any sort of character growth. He's not being overtly defensive, but as we'll see as we progress, he is being covertly defensive. The first thing that set alarm bells off in my head when watching this video was the fact that he said he was inspired by Jenna Marbles. The fact that he only considered confronting these issues after another white creator took accountability for her mistakes shows he's only sorry he got caught. He had to be inspired to be regretful over cruelty. He had to see someone doing the right thing to realise, finally, that he is a bad person. It's kind of like performative activism. You are only talking about these issues because if you don't, you seem like an arsehole. I don't believe for a second that this video would exist if Jenna hadn't uploaded her apology video. I just don't. The sign from the universe that should have prompted you to make this video was years ago, when people were desperately trying to educate you and get you to discuss the disgusting things that you did in your past. You've been willfully ignorant for years. I don't even know if I even got that at all, but we'll see, I suppose, when editing comes. The second problem I have with this video is Shane's age-old excuse for his behaviour. Every time he runs into controversy, he brings up the fact that he has trauma and had a difficult childhood. There is a time and a place to evoke sympathy from your audience, and it is not when you're apologising for something as deplorable as blackface. Don't try and make me feel sorry for you, because then we're back where you began. You excusing your behaviour because you've been through it. The amount of people who have been through the exact same experiences as you, and having turned to blackface and pedophilia jokes to deal with it greatly outweigh those who have. Your life experience can never excuse the things that you've done, so stop acting like they can. By making this about you and your trauma, you are undermining the trauma that you have put onto others. Please think about someone other than yourself. You claim to be an empath, yet you've ignored the pain that you've caused to people in favour of maintaining your success. That is the least empathic thing that I can think of. As well as him excusing his actions with his past, he simultaneously tries to distance himself from his past as well. He does this by referring to his past self in third-person pronouns. He says he hates that person. That person was filled with sadness. That person is someone I don't like seeing. That person happens to be you, Shane. You did blackface. You exploited children, not someone else. Even if he had changed, that still doesn't negate the fact that he did these things. And let's not forget that these things weren't a one-time mistake, or done accidentally with no knowledge of how offensive they were. He did blackface repeatedly for years. He knew he was being offensive, because at the time that was his shtick. That was a lot of YouTubers' shticks back then. When he made sexual comments towards children, he knew that was wrong. Anyone with a brain would know that. And he knew it would shock people. His claims of ignorance towards his actions are arguably even more harmful than his actions themselves. You can't say the N-word as an adult and not know where that word came from and why we can't say it. Being uneducated is your problem. It's not the responsibility of people of colour to educate you on things that you should be actively seeking out. Maybe doing research before publishing something as offensive as blackface would have prevented this in the first place. The last thing I feel able to talk about regarding this video is the fact that Shane admits to maintaining friendships with people who are problematic. He says he holds his friends to different standards than other people, and that he's attracted to others who are broken. I will say that I've never used broken as a synonym for racist. Not only are you friends with people who are racist, like Jeffree Star, but you also allow them to profit by collaborating with them on a makeup palette that millions of your fans bought. You're allowing him to continue being successful. And you also tried to excuse his behaviour in the first Jeffree Star series. Let's not forget that Jeffree did these racist things before Shane was friends with him. He saw Jeffree Star's past and decided that those things were okay. You don't hold your friends to different standards, Shane. You just clearly have no issue being associated with racists. You don't take racism seriously enough to stop being friends with someone who is guilty of that crime. But how could you take it seriously when you're guilty of the exact same thing? To conclude this video, I'd like to say that Shane is 31 years old. He is an adult. He is not a child that must be protected at all costs. He's a grown man that needs to realise that saying sorry isn't enough. At least not for the people who he's harmed and traumatised. It's not anyone's fault if they won't forgive him. It's his fault for committing an unforgivable act. And to all the stans that will say, he said sorry, why isn't that enough for you? Well, I'm sorry, but it's too little too late. Saying sorry won't remove the pain you've caused. Influencers need to be aware of their actions before people of colour have to come and tell them that what they're doing is not okay. If you only think something's wrong when you're caught, if you only say sorry when it's no longer okay, you don't care. Because when you put it out, you didn't even think about how awful it could be and how harmful it could be to people. You weren't sorry then, but you will be sorry because you will lose your career. I'm so mad. I don't even think I got half of this shit down. It's fascinating how quick we are to cancel people in this political climate, and yet people like Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson are allowed to get away with these things because they're old favourites. Like, if Jenna Marbles had just posted an apology video and not left YouTube, she would have gotten away with it because she's an old favourite, she has an established fan base. But that's sometimes not okay. Shane has apologised for the things that he's already apologised for, And the apologies that he made when those controversies were happening were so poor that you can see that he has grown very little during this time. And the fact that he is adamant on maintaining a friendship, well, several friendships with problematic people who are harmful and produce harmful content, shows a lack of growth, a lack of self-awareness, and we should not allow him to maintain success on this platform. If you want to cancel Shane Dawson, I absolutely fully condone that. I'm not like a cancel culture person. I'm not like on Twitter using the hashtags or anything. I just like kind of like watching it happening. But just fucking do it, because he deserves it, for real. Like, this... It's so annoying that I have allowed this man to profit off of my views for years. I've never bought Shane Dawson merch or makeup because, to be honest, I'm not really a makeup fan. I don't really wear bright makeup, and I don't fancy walking around in a mint green sweater with a pig on it because I'm not a fashionable person, but bro, that ain't good. But it is so irritating that I like contributed to the success of it. It's awful. It's a really nasty feeling. And it's a feeling that we should all be feeling as ex-fans of Shane Dawson. I was never a stan. Like, I'm not a stan of anything other than, like, Nosferatu. I'm now waffling. So I'm gonna end this and try and edit it together. See if it makes any sense, because I made so many mistakes reading off of my own fucking script that I probably have no material for this video. It'll probably be 5 minutes long like the last one, but thank you for the success of that one. 350 views isn't bad for a small channel doing an Onision exposed video. I enjoyed it, so thanks. I'm never going to be a regular uploader on this channel because it's so difficult for me to find a topic that I'm interested in enough to get angry about it, because that's basically what my channel is. It's me getting angry about things. I really like fucking getting mad and just arguing with no one. It's really great when you've got no one here to say that you're wrong. It's fun. But yes, there'll probably be another video in 6 months when someone else does something stupid or another film comes out that I simply can't not talk about. I hope that whoever is watching this is staying safe, and Black Lives Matter. Goodbye.